Hey, Knight fans, Marc Daniels here as we do another react and rewatch of a UCF game of the past. Today, we focus on the 2019 basketball game between UCF and Houston. In Houston, ESPN GameDay there. The Cougars riding a big win streak, 6 in the country. UCF, a team viewed in the bubble. Could the Knights solidify a spot for at least an at-large with a road win at Houston? The stage was set for a huge basketball game. We got some special guests going to join us as we look back on UCF and Houston.
A hazy day here in Houston.
It was a big day in Houston. I mean, it was more than just a sports story. There were news stations out covering the fact that Game Day was there. It was the main lineup as far as crew-wise for ESPN, Kelvin Sampson, Johnny Dawkins, and again, both teams with different agendas. Houston was a team that they knew they were going to make the tournament and came in red hot. UCF, again, many people kind of had us on the bubble. Could UCF win a game here? As you saw, Houston 14-1 coming in, UCF 11-4. It was about quality wins. Tonight's resume was good, but could it get better? Two big opportunities. This game in Houston, the home game against Cincinnati, we know what happened in both. But it was one of those, could UCF match up against a Houston team that had, as you can see, Reese Davis and Jay Billis there. The Cougars came in overall. They were 27-1, UCF 21-6. The Knights were playing well. It was one of those, well, let's kind of see how they match up. And it was a great atmosphere. It absolutely was jam-packed. The numbers for Houston, they were playing great defense. They were really locking teams down. Coming into that game, they were holding opponents to 61 points a game. And they had that swagger, which Kelvin Sampson has brought. And Corey Davis had an outstanding season, deadly three-point shooter, knocking down a bunch of big shots. He was a guy that was so clutch for Houston all year long, and part of their run in the NCAA tournament, they had some success there before they lost to Kentucky, but he had a big game in the first matchup against UCF in Orlando. So that was a guy that was a point of emphasis for UCF. Could you lock him down and force other players to have to beat you? And that was a point of emphasis before the basketball game. This was a spotlight opportunity for UCF to kind of showcase our team as well. Again, we kind of flew under the radar on the national scale, outside the top 25. And could you match the environment? Obviously, a focus was on Tacko Fall. Could Tacko have a big game here? Be that guy inside the paint to kind of clog things up a little bit. I know, and I remember before this game, it was a lengthy film session in the morning. We were all waiting for breakfast before we headed to the arena. It was like, wow, that's a long film session. It was a point of emphasis defensively on how they were going to take Houston out of the things that they had done successfully throughout the year. And the start was really big. Could UCF kind of calm that big crowd down? Sold out. It was a big ticket to get in Houston. There were sports stars of other Houston teams that were there. So the start to this game was going to be really important. Could UCF kind of not let Houston get on a run early and get that crowd involved? Because it was jacked up. I mean, of all the years that I've gone to what was done, the Hofheinz Pavilion, it wasn't much of a home court atmosphere. But Kelvin Sampson turned that program around, the Fertitta Center redone, and it was a place that was rocking on this Saturday. So, you know, like every basketball game, when you get that great environment, and can the road team kind of handle the start? And that was important, you know, for UCF in this basketball game. Just looking at some of the numbers, the way Houston came into this game, you know, they had a stretch. They'd won 12 straight and really playing good basketball. Lost a game, then won 5 of 6 coming into this game against UCF. And there's Tacko standing tall, and you see the Knights against a top 10 team. At that point, the lone win against UConn. So atmosphere was set. There's a sea of red right there, a little bit of black by our bench. And we get set for the start between UCF and Houston. And a big game late in the season. Again, Knights were looking to get some big wins. And that's typical. Tacko won the tap as he'd won all year long. And there's that Knights starting 5 that we got to know so well. And again, I thought this was such a big start early just to get some good looks down low. There's Tacko. You see the double team. And there's a travel, but early on, Houston showed what they wanted to do to Tacko. And sometimes we got to remember, you're just learning what kind of strategy the opposition is. So here's Houston. Okay, they're going to double Tacko. What does that do now for Johnny's offense and how they may plan for that? But this was a dangerous team. They showed Corey Davis for Houston. He was, key player for them. Armani Brooks had 123 pointers. Corey Davis had 111. I mean, they were deadly outside. DeJon Jarreau, Galen Robinson, Nate Hinton. They had some talented players on that Houston team, and they grabbed the early lead. So, again, big emphasis to get off to a good start, matchup, and Houston played really good defense. They are still very good. It's a staple for Kelvin Sampson, and there's Collin Smith launching a three. They rotate so well, but there's Collin, and we've seen Collin now a couple of years when he gets a good look, can certainly knock down that three. So, Knights man-to-man defense usually all the time for Coach Dawkins, and I know UCF felt, despite the loss the first game, that they were going to make some adjustments and try to frustrate Houston in doing some things. And clearly, you can see Tacko being a presence, forcing a pass back out there. But you knew athletic-wise, it was a case, and that was key also. You had a rebound. You couldn't let Houston get second opportunities. And I think that was really important to do that. Speaking of the big guy, Tacko Fall, I think the big fella is joining us right now. Tacko, I think is there.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
So as we watch the start of this game, share with our fans what you remember that Coach Dawkins said was important to get a road win at Houston. We lost the first game. What do you remember about preparing for this game against Houston and in that environment?
Well, it wasn't just about this game. For us, he just reminded us what our goal was at the beginning of the season, and we were trying to make the tournament, of course, and this game was going to be huge for us to do that. So we just came into that mindset that we had to have it, and I think that was probably at the time where we had kind of a slump before going to that game. So it was just we had to go and do it. So.
What do you remember about that environment? Obviously, you're playing in some bigger environments, the NBA, but that was a pretty jacked up crowd there, wasn't it?
It was, and Houston. You've been in Houston gyms, but I don't know if anyone of the people have been there. It's not very big, but like it's just it's the way they made the stadium. It's a great atmosphere. The fans are really loud, and it's definitely a great atmosphere to play in.
Look, you got pulled on the arm. That happened a few times, I bet, during your career, right?
Oh, yeah. I had that shoulder surgery my junior season.
But when you get, like in this game, they showed quickly they were going to double. And obviously, in a lot of games, that happens to you. When you see that, what's your mindset now? Obviously, you still want to get touches down low. But when you see someone say, hey, they're going to double him immediately, how do you adjust to that?
Well, that's something I've had to get better at, especially my last year. If they double me, that means, people around me are going to be open. And that's something that even like at the end of that season, I was really trying to take advantage of. If they were concentrating on me, that means Aubrey would be open to get wide open shots. BJ, Dayon, Frank, all of them. So for me, it was just trying to make sure every time I catch the ball to stay patient, look at where the double team was coming from and try to find them. And even that, sometimes I didn't even have to touch the ball because just me being aggressive and asking for it, it would draw attention because they were always trying to have someone on the backside and someone else try to front me, which would leave everybody else on the opposite side open.
You knocked down one of the two free throws there after they got called for the flagrant foul, and that tied the ball game up at 4 early. Look at that now. They're analyzing your free throw shot right there, Tacko.
I know. It's not the same.
It's changed, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
What now that you've done some work? There's a big dunk to you right there. What's your approach now at the free throw line? How have the Celtics changed that for you, and what's different now?
It started during the summer working out with Drew. We kind of pretty much started from scratch. It's like teaching a kid how to shoot. Pretty much after I had that shoulder surgery, I lost that muscle memory, and I just had to get it back. So it started during the summer, and then once I got to Boston, just kept working on it, and I was very fortunate. I was assigned with, first I started with Jerome, and then with Jay Larnega, and Jay has been working on my shot pretty much ever since, and I can just see a steady improvement pretty much every time we get to work.
That's Drew Hanlon, who's shooting coach, right, with you guys up
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
Should there be some type of adjustment?
And of course, we got a review because, you know, like it was your fault. You're 7'6" with big elbows and shoulders and things like that. How have officials learned to work with you both in the G League and with the Celtics? Is it a little bit different approach? I understand bigger bodies are more common now.
I mean, in the G League, it got frustrating at times. Because all those refs are learning as well. That's why they in the G League. With me, it's very. I understand that. Sometimes I would get mad, but I definitely understand that it's very hard to officiate someone like me. So there's been a lot of calls that they miss, or things that should have been called that they didn't. But it's hard.
So we got an early 6-4 lead. I thought, Taco, going back in this game, that the fact we get off to a good start helped, that we don't let them get on a run. And not that it took the crowd out of it, but I thought it was important that we kind of matched them early. You've been in a lot of games where you kind of feel like if we're on the road, you know, you got to avoid that early run. I thought that was really important in this game. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, most important. Definitely, when you play on the road, you don't want them to gain momentum from the crowd, and the way you do that is you just, you know, from the jump, you just go at them, and that was coach tried to, you know, push that the whole season, and even before that, since he got there, he used to say this: the one who hit first always win. So we always that was pretty much our mindset: go out there and throw the first punch.
While we watch this game, and this is the UCF Houston game from 2019, and we got some basketball we'll break down here for our Knight fans that are watching. Let's share a little bit if you can. You know, you and I talked before we did a podcast, but a typical day right now, I mean, do you still get a chance to work it on your own? What's the challenge there, and how does Tacko Fall work out in a somewhat isolated world right now?
Yeah, the challenge is all the gyms are closed. Our gym, our facility is closed as well. It's probably going to be closed for a while. So for now, all we do is, instead of FaceTime calls with our trainers, and then we have like different groups. So my groups, for example, today was at noon, and then I try to use the garage as like my track and field. I go up there and get some sprint in. I have a basketball, go upstairs and get some ball handling. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
What are you cooking more now? I mean, has Tacko become a better chef?
I haven't. I mean, I haven't. I have food pretty much delivered. So we have our team chef hooked me up with a guy that does like meal delivery that I've been using just to make sure that I'm eating something that's healthy, so that I don't gain too much bad weight during this time.
Is that hard? I mean, we all have our weaknesses of sweets or the snacks and so forth. What's Tacko's go-to snack that maybe you're trying to eat not that much of, but you still enjoy?
Well, I love desserts. I have a sweet tooth, and before this whole thing happened, I used to eat a lot of apple crisp and brownies brownies. For example, I give you an example. When I was at UCF, Burger U has like the best brownie sundaes that I think I ever had before, and I used to be there almost every night, and they would tell you that. I used to live at Tower 3 my freshman year. And
Right.
Burger U was right at the door. and I used to be there every night just to grab a brownie. So brownies are definitely one of my biggest weaknesses, and apple crisp.
Now, on the brownie, by the way, nice, good promotion of our friends at Burger U. But on the brownie, does Tacko Fall like ice cream on top of the brownie? You like a warm brownie? I mean, is it plain brownie? What do you like on it?
No, it has to be warm with ice cream on top. Vanilla ice cream. Yeah.
Oh, look at Coach Dawkins, huh? Look at that.
Look just like Aubrey.
Yeah, look at that. That's Coach Dawkins and Jay Billis those days at Duke. So we're kind of getting ourselves, back and forth, 11-11, just over 14 to go in the first half. And like I said, I think it was important we kind of avoided any type of run by Houston. So as you look back and you watch, with Chad and Collin, how much, as you look back, you realize that the depth we had up front, those guys clearly helped you and vice versa. But as you look back and watch, just having those guys come in, what do you remember about our depth in that front line?
Man, personally, I think we had. I mean, I've started the whole season, but we had 6 to 7 starters on the team that could have started. I think, in my opinion, and especially I had Collin besides me. Collin, very skilled, can shoot on the outside. Definitely relieved a lot of the load that sometimes I had to take on. And then Chad coming out of the bench, just bringing the energy. Once Chad stepped on the court, Chad is there. He did his job pretty well, and that's all you can ask from someone to do his role. And Chad did his role like pretty much nobody else. He was the heart of the team, and he brought it. Night in, night out.
And have you faced Chad this year? Did you face Chad in the G League this year?
I haven't. I told him he was lucky. I said, Chad. I told Chad he was lucky he didn't have to guard him this year.
That's funny. He when we played at SMU, Chad came over to practice. It was great to see him, and so proud of him working so hard to get that opportunity.
Yeah, we all proud of Chad. Chad is, I mean, he's just being Chad. As long as he keep that same mindset, Chad is gonna be okay.
The Houston players down their bodies, diving and flying. I know you've been busy, obviously, before all this happened. Did you get a chance to watch much of UCF during the season this year? And if you did, Collin didn't have Chad, a little bit of a different role for him, but I know you probably communicated. What were your thoughts on Collin now adapting to not having you two guys with him?
I had watched at the beginning of the season a few of the games. I think I had watched some of the game that when they played against Miami.
Yeah.
Because Coach Jay and I had a bet. His dad is the head coach at Miami. So him and I had the bet, and we lost. I owe him dinner for that. But I've watched some of it. Collin, I had talked to him before I left UCF, and pretty much what I said was that he had to be the leader of the team, and he had to to step up. That it was his time to to carry what we had started and finish the job. And so that was what I had pretty much talked to him about.
Well, we got speaking of that, look who just
There
joined
you go.
us. It's Collin. Collin Smith. What's up, man?
I've been talking the whole time.
How you doing? Well, now we got you. You're good. Say hi to Tacko.
How y'all doing?
There you go.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Doing all right, man. I'm trying to get you guys' attention for the past 5 minutes.
All right, so it's a 16-13 game. Collin, let me ask you a couple of questions I was asking Tacko. What do you remember just about the environment going to Houston for this game, the big crowd and all the hype with game day there. What do you remember about that atmosphere?
I remember it being fun. I love playing against opposing crowds. I think it gives you a lot of energy, and it just makes the game just that much more important. Will seem that important. And I feel like this was an important game for our season. And it was just such a great place to be in. And just having the guys that we had around us has made it all the much better.
Could you guys, that's a question for both of you, Tacko and Collin. Could you tell that, this game had that big game feel, but it became a little bit more physical? That I think the style of play that the refs kind of allowed a little bit more physical contact in this game?
Yeah, they definitely let us play that game. And, it was to expect. We were a great defensive team. Houston was a great defensive team. So coming into the game, we knew it was definitely going to be physical. And they were not going to call every single call because most people would foul out. So it's those type of games, coming into is going to be physical. You just got to bring it and match it.
By the way, Collin, before you joined us earlier, we were watching that famous set shot three of yours early. Nothing but the bottom of the net there, by the way.
Yeah, you already know. So all it takes is one.
No, there's going to be some more. But Collin, obviously, getting that opportunity to play with Tacko, how much did that help you in so many ways? But as you look back at that year with the two of you playing together, what did you learn about that helped you this year when you didn't have both Tacko and Chad there?
Well, playing with Tacko was fun. I feel like having a bigger brother out there, just throwing the ball up to him, especially if I got myself in trouble. I know I could count on him to go get it. And, just his leadership, just trying to keep the guys together, trying to make sure everybody's on the same page, just, taking what he gave me that past year and trying to use it for this year, kind of helped me grow.
We're almost midway in the first half, and Houston's up 3, and shot one and done. That was big, obviously, holding it one and done. They again, a couple of really good shooters for them. That's DeJon Dureau missed a shot there. Playing a team a second time, they beat us at our place the first time, and conference opponents. Was this a game? Little trash talking going on?
I think there was something going on. I remember, what was it again?
Collin, were you trash talking?
Collin always trash talking.
If people don't talk to me,
it was Collin. Collin, it was you. I don't remember you say something, but because Collin, you remember when Coach used to get mad at you for talking too much shit?
No, he didn't get mad at me for talking.
Man,
well, like that's like 2 games. That's like 2 games.
You got a tech for it.
That was like 2 games, but I ain't talked this game.
I don't know, but I think something. There was definitely. I remember there was definitely something that happened. I just can't remember exactly.
I was doing this game, man.
Collin, there's not one game where you did trash that I remember.
I only talk trash when they talk trash bad to me, man.
Nah.
Tacko, though, listen, Tacko, you gotta appreciate. Kidding, man. I'm not quite sure anybody took more charges this year than this guy did. This guy took more charges than I think anybody in the country this season. So he did a great job as far as getting his body in the right place. And so, right,
Collin always used to do that. We used to get mad at him for taking charges in practice.
I don't know why. I'm just trying to make y'all better, man.
Because I think there was one time who took a charge on? I think it was BJ, and he almost got hurt or something.
AJ too, my red shirt year.
Yeah, AJ too. Mm-hmm. They used to get so mad at him.
I used to be in the head all day.
I used to get mad at him because a lot of times we were always on the same team, but a few times we weren't on the same team, and I would post up. I would like back him down, and he would fall every time, and they used to piss me off.
You gotta take that first one. The first one go back up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The second one, I don't care how much you hit me, I'm going down.
I was like, what? And they used to call charge. Every time you fall down in practice, it's a charge, even if it's a block. Coach just wanted to encourage people to take charges. So every time somebody fell down, it was a charge.
But I was taking good charges though. You dipped your shoulder every time, Todd. Come on, man.
Stop it, Collin. You know damn well a lot of them wasn't charged.
Every single one of them was charged.
Nah.
Now Hinton pushing it. He'll pull up.
It's the bounce though, Collin, right? It's the contact, and then it's the fall back, right? It's how you sell it.
You gotta when you falling back, you gotta win the Oscar. You gotta tilt the head back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And when you fall back, make sure your legs go up just a little bit, but not too much. You know, you want to let your momentum take your legs with you.
Right. Don't show weakness, but show toughness that you may be hurt, but not weakness, right?
Yes. You gotta kind of like fake the injury.
Yeah.
It might happen. Just a little bit. Just pass. Hey.
Gonna be fouled on the floor again, and Gresham's into the game. And
Still up and under there. Fouled before the shot, though.
That 4-round-1 set allows ball screens to be set and immediate.
So we got like about 8 minutes, I think, to go here in the first half, and kind of back and forth. They're going to make a little bit of a run here, but
all you have to do is lob it up to the rim.
what for both you guys, as Terrell came back in, as the year went along, and Tacko, I know I asked you this before, but figuring out how those two guys were able to play together, a nice shot there, with Terrell handling the ball. Collin, did you feel as the year went along, when BJ and Terrell figured out how to play together, BJ off the ball more, that really is part when things began to click for us?
I mean, yeah. BJ,
nice Collin.
BJ, his whole career, he's always been used to playing with the ball. So there was definitely a time of adjustment for him, like any other player would have to. But then at just some point in the season, like you say, both of them kind of clicked, and Terrell did a great job, making sure, just finding people at the right place, finding BJ at the right place, finding me and everybody else, Aubrey, Collin, Dayon, and everybody else. So, and the biggest thing that I think Terrell did was he really picked up on his defense. Terrell was a heck of a defender at the end of the year.
Collin, what do you think?
I thought that when we finally settled out our primary ball handler, I think our offense ran a lot smoother. I felt like we had a lot more fast break opportunities, and just the execution of offense was almost impeccable at times. And you can see how everyone reacted when different ball handlers had the ball, and how we was kind of like learning each other movements as the season went on. It was kind of cool to watch.
Under 7 in the first half, and Houston's got a 2-point lead. We saw a shot before that knocked down that 15-footer. Going back watching this game and VCU and Duke, Dayon, who had his moments where he's getting more minutes and then not going to get more minutes again. But you look back, he had some big shots. I mean, Dan was a guy that, Collin, I mean, I know you remember everybody had a role, but he had some big shots in those big games down the stretch, didn't he?
Yeah, Dayon came in clutch for us. But
oh, yeah, he sure did.
Bunch of good games. And just, I think his underrated ability was his playmaking, because he could low-key get to the basket and then drop it off to either me or Tacko, and I think that was kind of underappreciated. But Dayon filled in a lot of roles for us that year. It was cool to watch him grow and accept his role and play so well.
So again, just over 6 to go. They make a little bit of a run here, and then we kind of answered that, which again I thought was big, to not allow their crowd to get overly involved in the first half, because they try to do that a few different times. And so down 4 with the basketball, and again, Tacko again. I mean, this was a game at certain moments certainly wanted to avoid the dunk, and they were not afraid to put you at the free throw line in certain situations. And
Yeah, most
I
definitely.
mean, you knew that, right?
Yeah, I definitely I knew that coming into any game that it was going to happen, especially my senior year where um, my my free throw percentage was definitely. So yeah, I definitely expected it.
Collin, okay, we're just among friends here. When Tacko's at the free throw line and teams are not used to his style, but when you're on the block, you kind of know I don't need to move for a while because he's still got to do the whole arm thing to get it up there, right?
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that was he was doing, but I knew exactly when it was coming off.
Here it is, you know.
Lord Jesus.
Say, Lord
Oh
Jesus.
Lane violation, though. We got another chance here for this one.
Hey, now that was real good about his free throws. We'll get a bunch of those. At least 2 a game.
If the shot goes in, unless there's a foul, it should be no big deal.
Get back there for third
Come on,
opportunity.
big fella. Come on, dude.
The violation affected the rebound, so the non-violating team should get the ball.
I think that one is going in.
Oh,
No, it's not.
he did it again.
I told you. That's fucking crazy.
That was funny.
It's like when you shooting it, it's like you got to make a noise with it.
That was a violation, though. That was the right call.
Now a couple extra opportunities looking for that make.
God dang.
Opposing teams violate because they got a little hitch in the shot.
All right, so we got under 6 to go.
I'm sending them to you. I'm sending them. All right. Great switch. We'll switch that. We good. Oh, Lord.
Brady uses the left hand to
You got to live.
keep it away from Fall.
Yeah, rebound by Smith right there.
Brady, the lefty, took that shot a little bit.
About time.
Just because
That
of
one.
the presence of Tacko Fall. Another time where he didn't block the shot, but he changed.
Now, what we doing? We do this game.
Two big guys in front of each other. Only that's what we're supposed to run right there.
Terrell Allen doing a nice job of making Armani Brooks catch it out of an operating area, just extending that catch.
But I mentioned before, they had two guys over 100 threes. I mean, there's Davis. He was able to get shots off, and there's that situation you get caught fouling. He's got 3 going right there.
2 straight Iverson cuts, one by Brooks.
You got to get that one up.
The second screener up top, and then coming off the little screen by Brady.
Collin, what is it that they do on offense? I mean, they run the same type of offense this year. I mean, what was the challenge about what they do on offense that you guys had to defend?
Just crashing the board. They crash the board hard. It's hard to get all those guys off the board. And, when some of our guys miss assignments, it's just we just need those rebounds. You can only give up one shot. So I think that, offensively, their plays or whatever, they didn't really score. But on those second and third and fourth chance buckets, they were killing us this past year.
They got a 6-point lead. We had 5 to go in the first half here, and Coach calls a timeout there. What's a typical Coach Dawkins huddle like? Tacko, what do you remember about a typical Coach Dawkins timeout huddle?
Well, the majority of the time he was very calm, except times he felt like guys came in and didn't play hard or didn't compete. Then he would show a little more emotions. But for the most part, Coach was always very, very calm. And he would, go talk to the other assistants, and then he would come in and give a pep talk to a few guys here and there, draw some plays, and most of the time just say to pick up the defense. That's what I really do. Coach has always been huge on defense. Was it the same way, Collin, this year?
Yeah, it was the same way. Yeah. It was the same way.
Hit that layup to go up 6. By the way, Tacko, you realize the difference in the NBA versus college. You guys actually can sit on the bench during a timeout. In college, we got to have 40 people on the floor setting up chairs and making a big huddle. You ever notice the difference?
Of what?
In the NBA, when there's a timeout, you guys sit on the bench. You don't bring out little chairs on the court. You guys just sit on the bench.
Well,
yeah. Oh,
we got those little chairs on the floor with 40 people.
Right.
Everybody.
As we go under the 4-minute mark
You're right.
Never noticed that? Colin, you look
No,
at, especially at home, we get all the student managers. We got like 40 guys in the huddle for a timeout
you're
in the
right.
huddle.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I peeped that.
You know what?
I did forget
Getting a
about that.
chance to call this game because you see a little guy in the stands.
Yeah, that was, they showed a picture of Jay Williams. He picked Houston on game day and everything, and they were all jacked up for that. So 6-point game under 4 to go. They were on an 8-2 run right here. And, oh, look who's at the foul line now.
Feel me?
Let's walk through this here. Let's see Tacko what he does.
I mean, the free throw is still a little irregular. My shot's still a little irregular.
Look at that young pup right there.
Though. You feel me? It's a little
smooth.
It's a little smoother.
Bottom of the net.
You know what I'm saying? You peep the swag.
Makes them both. Look at that.
Learn something.
Barely touching that
thing.
Barely touching that thing.
I don't know. One of that. Let me help.
How's our defense here, Colin?
Stunt. You see me? I'm in the paint. Oh. Watch out, Todd. They're running through. They're running through. Ice that. Don't worry, I got help. We there, stun at him. I lost my man. Oh, get back. That's great D. That's great D.
Defense
Out of
right
bounds.
It's good defense right there.
Oh, man.
That's good textbook D.
Yeah.
All right, what are we going to try to run here? Take me through the play here, Colin, when you see it.
What it says. Let's go. Let's loop go. Go, BJ. I'm a slip. Tacko go set it. Go ahead. Good pass. One more. Ooh.
Good execution. Just missed the shot.
We got a good shot. We're back now, though. Come on now. You're not like that. All right, we good. Let's go.
Terrell pushing.
I'm going to set it. That was coming to Tacko. It was wide open, though. He was wide open.
Oh, wow. I hope there's a replay here. Look at this.
He was wide open. Look at him. I seen him.
Man, I can't imagine.
He couldn't move, though. He couldn't move. He was getting hacked.
I can't imagine how frustrated Brady must have been.
Oh, me.
It was like, man, I got to guard this.
Yeah. He was definitely upset. He got knocked down like twice early, too.
Yeah.
Don't help. Don't help. Talk, I got him. My goodness. Over helping.
Now we're down 6, 2.5 to go.
Yeah. Split four. Right here. Hey. 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 Right to you. You already know.
That is teamwork right there. That's how you work together. That's 14.5 feet of dominance right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Zone right now by UCF 2-3.
We in zone.
Mix in a little zone here?
Yeah, we in zone. Yeah, we let him shoot. Ah. We got to get that up. She's shooting like 13% from the three-point line. We got to get that up. We'll live with those.
The crowd gets involved now. They go up 7.
Probably running. We run a split 5 now. We're going to set it. DJ ain't come off of it. That's cool. Hold on, Todd.
Double. Who's open?
Help. Yeah, you know this going up. Hey.
We knew it was going up. Where was it going, though?
I was coming to get that charge. I was coming. You see me over there. Where is Corey Davis now?
Corey, I was just wondering the same thing.
I think he played. I want to say I think he played in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So 7-point game.
I saw the shooter. What's his name again? From Houston, the other shooter.
Oh,
Brooks.
Brooks.
Armani. Yeah, Armani. I saw him. I don't remember what team he played for, but I saw him this year. Oh, he played for the Hawks G League team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
We're down 8 here now, so we gotta cut the lead down. So let's see what we run here.
Right here, T game. Ref. And
oh, get that in the NBA right there, but
I can't believe they called that off. He's going up.
A terrific shot fake by Taylor to get the defense off balance.
Corey played in Turkey this year.
Hey, Colin.
Hmm?
You remember what we used to call BJ and he didn't like it?
I'm not sure that wasn't a bucket.
Don't tell us.
No,
I don't want to know.
I know.
You talking about BBB?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
All right, minute to go in the half.
Man.
Number 6.
Back in zone here.
Yeah.
UCF hanging around the final minute without huge offensive contributions from Taylor and Aubrey Dawkins.
Everybody had a weird nickname.
What was yours?
I think I was the only one that didn't really have it. They
Colin,
just
what was
called
his name?
He's call
Big Tom.
Mamba Dude.
Oh, I hate when you call him out. What's his Jared? Jared used to say that all the time. I was like, Jared, come on, man. I'm not.
Taco, what do you call Colin?
My man. Colin, we call him Smitty. Colin. Big.
That's good. That's not bad.
This Smitty. That's.
Yeah, they call me Smitty. Nah, they just call me C now.
But Chad.
He banked that in right there.
Wow.
Chad.
OCCB.
OCCB, but you know the other one. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, there's so many behind the scenes things going on right now that I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
You know the other one, right?
Yes, I know the other one. Time. Oh, right here.
Oh, look at this. Look at that.
What about Aubrey? You remember? OG?
Oh, yeah. OG. Hey, chill out, bro.
Meanwhile, so 33-28, which is going to end up being the halftime score. So before we get into the second half, let's kind of get back here. Either one of you, what do you remember getting to the half, what Coach Dawkins may have said, and how you guys felt down 5 at the half? Taco, you first, and Colin.
What'd you say? I lost.
Halftime. What did Coach tell you guys? What do you remember about this? We're down 5 at the half. Do you remember at all what he may have said to you guys at the half and how he played and teached the second half?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Colin?
I do not.
Well, it's a good time to make something.
So many halftimes with Coach
Dawkins. I'm just kidding. Here you go. Here's a little talk. You probably never saw this. Look at that.
30 tacos. I probably saw it on Twitter.
Why are they using that old behind pick?
Yeah, that was my freshman year.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time I've ever felt really short talking to a guy. But, guys, Taco is very interesting. He knows 3 different languages, including his native tongue of Senegal. And his mom will see him play for the first time.
Here's your final possession of the half here.
So she's more than excited to finally see her son in a UCF uniform. But he's obviously having a big impact on this game tonight.
Is Tacko Fall the tallest guy you've ever interviewed?
100%.
All right.
All basketball players are tall.
There's Colin, last wall defense back there.
You see me? Ice it. I'm there. Come on now. Great D.
UCF has a chance for a last shot, and it's going to be too late.
Too late.
Yeah,
all right, so we're down 5 at the half here, 33-28. And then we're going to get a good start to the second half, which we're going to slide into. But they had an 8-point lead. We cut it down. It's a nice play. We just missed it. Nice dunk.
Maria has Kelvin Sampson.
All right, Coach. Obviously, a big part of the defensive scout is getting Tacko Fall.
All right, so again, they're up 5 at 33-28. And big second half. And like I said earlier, we're looking for this big.
What's Galen's status for coming back in the second half?
win to kind of get off the bubble, and then a couple of opportunities with this Houston game and the Cincinnati game came after this. So we got a big opportunity second half, and we're going to slide into the second half. Sold out crowd at Houston, and a little bit of highlights. 33 straight home wins coming into that. Look at that. Look at that.
Yes, bro. Oh, my goodness. Good touch.
Big men domination right there.
It's going to be one play in the second half. I threw it off the backboard purposely to give it to Tacko.
That is correct. But it's a good start to the second half here that includes a bunch of plays by both of you. So.
They've been relying mostly on jump
shots. This is where it started getting crunchy for them.
But the big guys for UCF, 7 of 11. The guards, most notably Dawkins and Taylor, are 2 of 12.
Yeah, that's where they talked about outside shooting. We weren't as hot to start. You two were key inside.
I mean, I hit that three. That's one three right there.
That's correct. A big three. That 1-3. All right. As soon as Maria gets done setting the stage for the second half, we'll dive into it.
Maria.
True or false? You've seen Coach Dawkins with a jacket on at the end of the game.
With a jacket on, like a suit jacket?
Yeah, false. He never had his jacket on at the end of the game, right?
Probably not. No. You're right. No, he didn't.
Never.
He didn't.
That was never a consideration.
All right, it's going to be a good start here. Let's walk through a little bit of the second half here.
Remember when Coach used to come out with them boxing gloves before the game?
Yeah, he did this game, I think.
He'd what?
Boxing gloves.
Before the game.
Hey! Rebound, I guess, or his own pinball around and just reached up and dunked it.
His hand was still in the rim when his feet hit the floor.
So there's the dunk by top. You mean boxing gloves of what? In the locker room?
He was amazed.
Yeah, just to
give us some.
He would like punch the air. And that was.
I'm sure you were too.
Nice.
Watching UCF Scout, that his mobility is so good. At that size, he really does move his feet well, and he's fluid.
Good defense.
Stop it. Stop it. 1 minute.
Look at that. Good defense by Smith there.
It'll be UCF ball.
Watch Tacko when he gets this ball, jumps up for it, grabs it.
Hey.
Look, his feet hit the ground before his hand came out of the rim. That's like a nerve hoop for us mere mortals.
Looking for some offense from the guards. Terrell from 3, knocked one down early, but now has missed his last 3 3-point attempts.
Well, UCF is so
yeah, they'd won 33 straight home games.
They stay in front.
They were 27-1 coming in here.
And having Tacko Fall back protecting the rim means that you can get out, you can take away 3-point shots.
They're going to go a stretch without scoring here. But period, we get some points here. In fact, I think they go almost 6.5 minutes without scoring a field goal.
Look at Tacko Fall just holding it up like a Nerf ball ahead of everybody.
Why didn't Fabian White jump up and take
We may get some baskets by Smith here, by the way.
Aubrey Dawkins rattles out. Brooks
Good
fighting for it. And
that's our ball, man.
tripped over a cameraman.
Hard to get calls on the road, man.
Houston basketball.
Tell me about it.
This ball's 10 feet in the air. And that's up at the target. He's playing above the rim without leaving the floor.
There you go, big fella.
Please.
Brady
I was ready.
Here's Galen Robinson back into action. He can't
Yeah, rebound.
Takes a shot right
Coming.
in the face.
There it is.
They're gonna.
Well, I don't know how they did that. They took away a basket from UCF.
For real.
Collin, did you hurt him?
I want to meet out with Tacko.
What?
Tacko again. Yeah, man, he was such a baby, man. Get up.
Oh, there it was. There.
And how they stop the play when we're in the middle of transition?
That's what we all wondered. You're supposed to stop it after the play. We should have the basket then stop it. They didn't call it there.
I swear, boy. UCF can get no calls ever.
Hey, you remember when they tried to make me wear elbow pads during practice?
They did. I don't remember that.
You don't remember? Jared tried to.
That didn't last long, did it?
Because people were complaining about my elbows.
Too bad. Get out the way.
You guys need to be careful. I don't see. I mean, I'm turning around. And
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about everybody else. Everybody else.
Oh yeah,
get out
that's
the way.
right. Be careful.
Get out the way. I wouldn't be doing it elbows.
I think this is like the third or fourth time we had to go to a replay to see Tacko about your elbows or your shoulders or your body.
Tony Green just motioned over to us, and as you said,
like it happened this year. One of the games I played in the G League. I think it was. I was kind of pissed off that game too, but it wasn't on purpose. So I caught the ball. I was posting up. I caught the ball, and then I turned around, and my elbows were at his head, and it hit him. He fell down. He pulled a Collin on me, and they called a flagrant.
Nice entry pass and finish there by Collin.
Real quick finish before the D get there.
All right, so now we're down 1.
I'm getting screen.
Fabian White has it rim out, and Tacko Fall has it now and into the front court. Knights with a chance to take the lead on the road against the 8th-ranked team in the country.
Oh, there were 8 at the time?
8 and 6. There were 2 different polls, but yeah.
You have the opportunity to put pressure on the rim and attack.
D-game.
All right, what are we going to run here?
What the hell? Why you so close?
Oh, look at this.
Hey!
Look at that.
Ref.
Man, that's domination right there.
I missed that hug right there, man. It's just never the same with everybody else.
If he did get hit, that would have been a flagrant 1. That would have been deemed, and he looked like he got grazed.
Well, hang on the rim there for the emphasis. I like that.
Had to let him know.
Who had a really good first half for Houston.
So again, this is so you're at the line with this free throw. Not to give it away, but you'll make it. So they still haven't scored. It was 33-28 at the half.
Not effective.
And we're going to stretch this out even more.
And just not a very good viewing position for Trash Can Man, because he can only see certain portions of the game.
It's all about
Great steal. Oh my goodness.
Take a look right here.
You guys are still bothered by those calls, right?
That was ridiculous.
Right
see Trash Can Man here?
I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him.
That's concentration, Colin. Not fooled by anything.
The red right there blending in with all that red over there. I couldn't see nothing.
White hit it off the back of
He saved it, you, Tacko.
That's a great catch, Tacko. That ball's coming fast.
All right, let's see what we execute here.
E-game.
And they still haven't really gotten the guards going yet, and they lead on the road.
Little floppy set. BJ Taylor running
right here.
Then Aubrey Dawkins coming off at the second time.
Right to you, baby.
Look at that. Can't stop that entry pass.
Just throwing the ball up to the rim and letting him go get it. UCF coming out.
Yeah, so they call time. So it's a 9-0 run here. And I think they're a little stunned because they had that big lead at the half, and all of a sudden we come out and we got a 4-point lead and stretch it even more.
For stars, Warren Moon threw a football into the crowd. Carl Lewis revved them up. Master P is here. Yet to put him on the mic.
We had a couple celebrities there.
Don Chaney. ML Carr.
Got a bunch of celebrities there.
Well, ML Carr is not a Houston alum. You know where ML Carr went to school?
I don't remember.
He went to Guilford College, played with Lloyd B. Free.
That's right. I remember that was about to say World B, but he was still Lloyd.
All right, we're going to make a stop and score again here, by the way.
Was the quarterback in the CFL?
The Edmonton Eskimos.
Very nice, Reese Davis. You know.
How many times you watched this game, Mark?
I watched it when we got back after the trip, and probably watched it just one other time before today.
take away that shot by Alley.
Well, we really forced them to take some low percentage shots. Good defense.
That was the goal.
Defense there.
Hey, I didn't even see that layup right there. I just threw that up. Man, oh, not very interesting.
There you go. It's an 11-0 run. Again, they still haven't scored in the second half.
I need that.
UCF has been everywhere defensively. Johnny Dawkins and his staff taking
I was ready to go.
Halftime break. And they've got a different team that is throwing punches here against Houston in the Fertitta Center.
Off the glass. Did you intend to do that? Or?
The play was going so fast, and he passed to me like while I was right under the basket. So I just had to flick it up there. I was hoping one of y'all was behind trailing, but it went in. So.
Trying to get some space so we can drive it. You know, Tacko's clogging up the middle, kind of taking away our post-entry game. So we're just trying to get some space so we can get some penetrating kicks. Anything defensively.
Hey, Tacko, you're clogging up that lane right there.
Thanks.
What your job is, man. Clog up that lane.
He's really been told in the points of the paint. You know, the first
protect the basket.
10 in favor of Houston. Second half, it's 10-0 in favor of UCF.
Jean Giroux goes to the bucket and draws the foul.
And Giroux's been the most successful driver for Houston, both in the first and now you can.
So they're going to score that first point in the second half here. So they go over 5 minutes without scoring in the second half, and they went like 6.5 before they scored a basket.
Called for the foul. It's his second. When Houston got in trouble, Jay, earlier this year against Cincinnati, it was down the stretch. It was Giroux who scored 11 consecutive points for the Cougars to help them pull that game out against the Bearcats, a team they'll play a week from Sunday in Houston.
Little missed free throw there.
Throw struggles continue now.
I think they thought that this was kind of be an easy game, you know. Game day and the win streak they were on beat us for 4, and I don't know if it's at this moment because they came back, but I think they felt like they were going to have an easy day.
And
what is this? Come on, Odd. He's feeding the big. Going away from what's working. Coach Dawkins always talk about that.
He looks like he thinks so too.
That's what he's telling Zelton Seed, and then Aubrey was called for the foul on the defensive end. His second.
I saw Aubrey a few times this year too.
That's what you're supposed to do, though, right? Like if you missed a shot, you got to come back and say that you got fouled, right? That's what you got to say.
Yeah. You wipe your hands though.
Right, yeah. Wet and stuff like that in the ball.
Corey Davis Jr. A much needed 3
That's
for the
tough.
Cougs.
That's tough.
When Aubrey Dawkins defended that well, that was a challenge 3. What a big time shot by Davis.
That's their first field goal of the second half.
Dawkins looking for the answer.
I know y'all see me down there wide open.
He's fighting to get the ball, man.
He threw that
Tacko,
thing.
tell him in the middle of 5 guys trying to grab a rebound. You think about passing at that moment.
Rebound, another difficult challenge shot that went in and out. Fall able to catch it. And then
How come you didn't crash the board there, Colin? How come your feet are on the ground?
just fell. But he was surrounded, referee just behind the play. He couldn't see the contact.
I think they need to go and look who they called the foul on, because I saw the official signal that it was on number 11, Nate Hinton, who was out behind the 3-point line with no one else around him.
Another delay.
Look at it, they'll
God, a
say
game
the
had so many
11 was
delays
foul.
going over to the scoring table.
It's not like they can take it off the board.
Let's see, that's
Colin had a good view of that right there.
The foul with his right foot. There was nothing there.
it was Giroux that called the foul. And UCF answers with a bucket from Dawkins.
Aubrey Dawkins.
I didn't see the
They can
bucket.
get him going. He can put some points up in a hurry. He plays great in road games. Aubrey Dawkins' numbers are stunning.
Averaging 18 points.
No, my hands straight up, bro.
What'd you do? You making contact or what? What are you doing?
No contact. Just giving him, trying to keep him in the game.
Collin Smith, it's his first.
When I first saw
First foul, though.
college, he started at Michigan. When he was a freshman, Michigan was playing at the University
First foul,
of Arizona.
13:40 the second half. You were getting fouls from the anthem this year.
Was watching, and Aubrey
I'm
ducked backwards,
not
did a
talking
couple
about
things.
that.
And John Beeline came over to me sitting on the sidelines and said, was his dad this athletic? I was like, John, what were you doing in the 80s? Did you not see Johnny Dawkins play? He was incredibly athletic.
All right. 2-point game now.
Leading scorer and a knee injury that curtailed some of that explosiveness, as I recall, in the NBA. His team's playing great. 2-point lead.
What are we running here, Colin? What do we got?
Like we in the horn set.
Yeah, horns.
Hello. You know what I'm saying? Okay, now we're in real motion.
Smith driving.
Hey.
Cedric Alley.
Collin Smith is having a terrific game.
Oh, look at that. Jay Billis said Colin Smith's having a terrific game.
Big forward that Johnny
Yeah, I got to hit that Florida.
The 4 or the 5. He's shown he's good around the rim and shown he can rebound and go. I'm very impressed with him.
I can't believe it ain't called shooting.
Outside the paint, and he can be a free screener that way.
B.J. Taylor, the strong drive to the bucket. He'll get a couple
Come on,
of
BJ, you got to make that.
As soon as we finish, Luke May in North Carolina and Little John to take on Clemson. Luke in ACC play averaging a big double-double, 15.5 points and 10 rebounds per game.
How good was he against Duke? 30 points, 15 rebounds.
Free throw put this up 3. We're going to get a nice little run here to stretch a lead on these guys. Here's the guy again in the garbage can.
Went right into the chest of the defender to draw that foul.
Too much red down there.
Free throw shooter knocks down both,
and blending in.
The Knights have a 4-point lead. Since the renovation of this arena, the name changed to Fertitta Center. Houston's never lost here, 14-0. Tacko Fall.
Look at the big fella Tacko get up there.
Giroux collects it for the Cougars, and they'll get a fresh 30. Davis by Fall. And again, Fall.
Oh, he traveled.
Harris to hesitate, and great deflection from Taylor. UCF on the push.
Well, you got Tacko
Good defense.
up top, Terrell Allen guarding down low. He never jumped up. He just, when you brought the ball down, he would take it away.
Smith using the height to get it up top.
Yes, sir. Look at top. Right to you, top. Right to you, top. Get it back.
He didn't even try to make that shot. He was just passing it.
Should have made the first one.
Help your assist numbers. Giroux gets inside. Alley, who's a good 3-point shooter, didn't quite get a clean handle on it.
I mean, you could see that our defense began to bother them. They were out of sync for what they normally like to run. They ought to block on you there. Late getting over, he said.
Every possession is a fist fight in this game. Man, this is fun to watch these guys compete. Another terrific play by Corey Davis Jr.
I don't know about that, Colin.
This dude is a ball.
I think you were set.
Did he stare at you?
I don't know what for that. Lucky. Should have been going the other way.
Game before the season for UCF. At the moment, Joe Lenardi has them as a 10 seed, one of the last 4 byes. They do not have a quad 1 win. This not only would suffice if they were able to hang on and win this game at Houston, it would also be the highest ranked team they've ever beaten on the road. BPI has them in the top 40, in the top 30 of
all right, 12 to go.
The new NCAA efficiency tool, the net rankings. But a long way to go to hold on here. But UCF has played tough so far, and the guy who's carried Houston offensively is at the free throw line, trying to finish off his 3-point play. Corey Davis says,
anybody wear shoulder sleeves anymore? I mean, that shooting sleeve?
Well, this is not a game.
I don't know.
That bad kind of came and went.
This has been a controlled bar fight.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Teams are physical and they're really good defensively. That pass.
Davis goes to the floor. Taylor
That's a good save.
Down a broken floor. Terrell Allen, Collin Smith.
Big fella finish.
That game Collin Smith is having. That's his 16th point to go along with 4 rebounds. He's got 3 assists. He has been so active and aggressive at both ends of the floor.
Jay, 9 of those 16 coming the second half.
All right, we've got a 6-point lead now.
UCF doing a lot of switching on screens and exchanges on the perimeter. Now Allen on Giroux. There's a walk.
I'm not sure it's not a Euro step. I'm not sure that's a walk on just about any continent.
Looked like a walk.
But it counted for Giroux, who's now in double figures with 10.
And give him credit because he's the lone guy on this Houston team that's getting consistently into the paint with his quickness and aggressiveness on the drive. Kelvin Sampson trying to get this crowd into it.
Giroux chasing Allen. Smith.
Bucket.
Smith still feeling it up.
Ooh, man. Inside, outside. The big fella's hot.
Gotta give him a little bit of everything.
But this is the best I've seen.
Collins even focused watching this back. He's got a game face on right now. Turnover. We're going to score here. Hello. Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Wow. With authority right there.
He was definitely talking shit there. He definitely say something.
No, I was not.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
I was not.
Hey, Colin, I know you. He definitely say something.
Got it anyway. And I think he'd rather have it.
All I was doing was looking at the crowd. That's all I was doing.
That's not all he was doing.
No, Taco, he was doing more.
Oh, for sure.
Nothing. We weren't even on the court. How you know?
Because I know you.
The first half, as Maria Taylor told you after halftime, was all about getting into the
We got great sportsmanship out there on the floor.
And you get it into the paint to Tacko Fall, and he knows what to do with it. And then Collin Smith has been the star of this game for UCF.
Wow, look at that. The star of the game. Pouring it on as far as the accolade.
I should have had like 7 assists, but Taco wasn't finishing the first time. He finished the second time.
Wow.
Finishing plays around the basket.
Look at that pass. That's his IQ right there off the backboard pass.
Terrific finish by Smith. There's been a different team on offense in the second half. UCF much more aggressive to get into the lane, to get to the rim.
20 of 23 points in the second half in the paint there. All right, 10 to go.
A guy that's been very quiet for the Cougars is Armani Brooks, just 1 field goal, averaging 14 a game. He's got it now. UCF's done a great job.
Oh, this one though. That thing was tough right there. Tough three.
He had 121 threes last season.
There we go.
121?
Last season, he had 121 three-point baskets.
My video stop.
We got you. We got you.
And he can choose which side to come off.
Hey.
Let's see who the foul is going to be called on. I think it is going to be called on Dawkins. That's his 3rd.
Armani Brooks usually not quite as good off 2 or 3 dribbles, but a nice step back. Usually it's 1 dribble where Armani Brooks is at his best. And
Hey, Colin.
Pretty good looking fan.
Yeah.
Dan wants to know if you got a stuffed animal with you right there.
That's my boy Tim.
Come on, Colin.
That's my dog Tim, man. We out here watching the game together. You know?
Wow. The soft side of Collin Smith.
What?
That's what Kelvin Sampson likes.
Grab the ball.
Get it.
Offensive rebound for a 3.
Get it, Chad.
Just didn't get it to go down, but a smart
Watch
play
out, Tim.
after the offensive rebound to kick it out to an open 3-point shooter, Armani Brooks.
Not for that.
You know, both of these teams, certainly Houston, I believe UCF too, are going to the tournament. And when you wind up facing these guys, you better be ready.
Colin, what are you doing during this? You playing video games? What are you doing to keep the time going?
Netflix, anime, video games.
What's your best video game?
When I'm playing a lot of Call of Duty, Model 2K.
Tacko, who's better at Call of Duty, you or Collin?
Oh, Collin most definitely.
I was playing with Tacko like last week, bro. Game with 1 kill, and he killed me for one of the kills. I'm like, bro.
But I had just started. I'm getting better though. So
give him some time.
Since the break, I downloaded it a little bit before like this whole thing started going, and I started playing it a few days after. So I'm still learning, but I'm getting better. But yeah, Collin is good at Call of Duty.
All right. First turnover since the first half. They went a long time.
Collin, you use me on 2K?
You want me to show you my team? Hey, so we started a my league team where you be your own GM.
Yeah.
And we had a draft. You know, you was my 6th pick in the draft. That was so. You know what I mean? I had to pick you up.
My dog.
I had to show you. I'm gonna show you right here. The face scan. I don't know what they did, but it's beautiful.
They scanned me in the summer league.
Yeah, but I had to pick you up, man. You know you start on my team too. Well, you know
My dog.
You the 6th man.
Starter,
He's
baby.
the 6th man.
But you about to take Mo Bamba start. The Mo Bamba been tripping out there. I got Mo Bamba too. Well, you my second leading scorer though.
I've seen, I don't understand it, but I've seen something about Oppo, these cards, whatever.
Oh yeah, you got a my team card. You got a Galaxy Oppo my team card. 99
Yeah.
no. You do everything.
99?
99. You do everything. Because you do.
Collin, people want to see the stuffed animal again. Where's the teddy bear?
For real?
Let's bring it back one more time. There you go. Look at that. How adorable is that, huh?
What'd you call your teddy bear?
Tim.
Wow.
It
says a lot. All right, so we got just over 8 to go. A 4-point lead here.
You have to think that Kelvin Sampson going to go back to Armani Brooks here, run some action to put Tacko Fall into some sort of ball screen action.
Focus put me in. Could have had 30.
Lead and DJ Taylor is 10 points below his average.
Right.
Good pass. Chances, Galen Robinson.
Boy, driving to pass and pass back out. Making it appear you're challenging Tacko.
We're going to answer with a 3 here.
And then passing it back out to Galen Robinson, who was wide open and could take his time.
A 2-point game. Answer from
Big shot, Barry, baby.
Man, that was big time.
That was a big shot.
About 2 respected players back to back, Robinson and then Taylor on the other end.
Taylor getting his first field goal of the game. Brooks.
That's
and
good.
the tip
Ooh.
won't go, and Tacko Fall gets it on the bounce.
There was
Get it up, Todd. Oh my, that's a fast break, Todd. You got to get it up the floor.
You know, I did it this year.
Little horns action right now for UCF. That means 2 players up top on the elbows, 2 players.
Won't create a lead, Hog.
You heard me, Collin?
What'd you say?
I did it this year.
Oh, you was. Yeah, I see.
What do you do? Try to run the break?
No, I ran the break and dunked the.
I cannot believe nobody ripped you. They let you go all the way up the court like that.
Rip me. You not going to be my ball.
Stop it.
Stop it. You can try.
I would have took that candy.
Make sure you keep working hard.
I would have took everything.
Hey, make sure you keep working hard so you can try it and see what happens.
Well, you can't dribble a pancake off the floor.
Collin, you haven't seen me play in a while, haven't you?
Yeah, I know what you could do.
Great job by Aubrey Dawkins. Take that shot away from Corey Davis.
Brooks looking for space. Armani.
Give me that.
Front of the rim and
give me that. Hey.
Good
rebound, bro.
He contested. Get back in the play. Go get the rebound, man. They're like that one drill he was doing.
All right, 5-point lead, 6 to go.
Let Collin Smith touch it.
Mm-hmm.
I settled right here.
What was that? What was that? What was that?
I settled.
Head fake, go to the basket.
Put that ball on the deck and attack when
I
he
settled right
faced up.
there. I know. That's what
Oh my God. Nope.
The retard.
Keeps him away from it, and UCF has it back.
You see, I said my B.
Tacko Fall only have 1 rebound at halftime. Done a really good job on the boards. Fall now with 8 rebounds.
Sticking now with that floppy set. You got 2 screeners on the blocks, and then both Dawkins and Taylor working off those screeners, then they can throw the ball inside.
The double comes, they swing.
Ooh, Todd, do you see that? I know you see it now.
That's just a missed open shot.
Right there.
Now Brooks has it. Taylor.
Blew it. Blew it.
Uses the screen. Brooks the runner. Armani rebound. Gets his own. He leads him in rebounding. Fabian White, the mid-range, and Houston just can't get it to go in.
That presence by the big fella in the middle.
He's had a couple of looks and unable to knock it down inside.
And his apprentice on the side.
The nation's longest home winning streak is in jeopardy. UCF a 5-point lead.
Long way to go. We got some exhausted players out there. Collin Smith tired. Tacko Fall. They played a lot of.
Are you tired?
Tired, he said. He said exhausted.
Man, I'm just
barely stand up.
Terrell Allen. Tacko Fall and.
Oh my goodness.
I used to hate those calls. I'm like, what do you want me to do?
Great rebound.
Right.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Great rebound.
Yeah, we can get one of those like at least once a game.
Saturday prime time, NBA Saturday prime time. Warriors in Philadelphia to take
Look at that. Both aren't on the same team anymore.
NBA countdown at 8 Eastern on
Right.
ABC, always available on ESPN app.
The new NBA.
Lost a couple of late, squandered a lead, and go to Philadelphia tonight to take on Sixers and that talented line.
All right. Just over 4 to go.
Got 1-1 now for Bryson Gresham.
What?
Game
Oh,
of
man.
horses like in a Warriors practice.
It takes a long time.
Got Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. You know, Jim Boeheim was saying recently that after watching those guys in the Olympic practices, that he says Klay Thompson
Second
is
free
actually
throw here.
a better shooter than Steph Curry, if you can believe that.
It's a pretty high bar either way you slice it. What is it that he thought made him the better shooter?
He makes more.
Makes more. That's it. Nothing more technical.
See what we run here.
Than that, huh? 4-point lead after Gresham made 1 of 2. I would counter that Steph makes a lot of them. The guy that plays here, James Harden, makes a lot of them too. Maybe not the pure shooter in that category. Aubrey Dawkins.
That was nice.
That young man is so tough.
Boy, how pretty was that? Just exploded into that shot. Off
All right, we go cold a little bit here.
What a huge win this would be for
They're going to make a run. That's where their crowd got involved here.
3:45 to play. Houston down by 6. Best record in the
Oh, he had me on that one. Definitely.
Good move.
I'm sending them right to you. If you would have passed it to your man, I would have got over there.
But Giroux just went right by him.
The commentators getting mad at me.
Well, not a very good move by Aubrey Dawkins.
Armani Brooks got the deflection and then slammed it off of Dawkins, and Houston will have it back. Cougars trying to salvage the nation's longest home court winning streak.
Yeah, we had very few turnovers. That was one in the second half. And
team so far, but Giroux and the Cougs trying to scale that mountain and take down Tacko Fall and the Knights.
all right,
Houston just got a turnover, down 4, taking it into the offensive.
up 4, 3:18 to go.
Getting loose balls, getting rebounds, and if you can get a steal, take it the other way, that's all great. But it's really going to come down to the quality of shot that you can get against a great defense. And both these defenses are truly outstanding. And are you going to settle for a jump shot, or are you going to be able to work to get the quality shot that you want?
Yeah.
For example, a couple possessions ago,
He's right. We both played good defense.
Collin Smith down low, and he wound up settling for a jump shot instead of being able to put the ball on the deck and get to the rim. What's the quality of shot you're going to be able to get this last 3:18 going to the end of regulation?
Galen Robinson.
If they run here.
Giroux's been terrific getting penetration. Pulls up from the elbow. He's hit by Dawkins, who thought he was standing straight up. And Dejan Giroux
Tough too,
man.
go to the free throw line, and Aubrey Dawkins just picked up his 4th.
A good shot of Dan Porcel over there.
Dejan has a dozen.
Man.
He's made 3 of 5 from the free throw line, and now 4 of 6, and it's a 3-point lead.
Dejan Giroux's done a nice job.
This one I was mad at Aubrey.
Really on both ends of the floor.
What?
Especially the
I was mad at Aubrey.
When he came in the
For what?
Because he threw that bad pass, that post-entry pass, and then he fouled the jump shooter. I'm like, oh, goodness.
He's going to make a big shot in a little bit here, though.
Oh, yeah. He made
All
up.
right, so now,
Definitely made up for it.
Now we're up just 2.
Robinson guarding Taylor.
Gresham recovered quick
Ooh.
Fall after
Don't do it. Don't do it.
running double. Smith in the high post, down to the low to Fall, big to big, and Houston comes out.
Should have hit Aubrey.
Corey Davis Jr.
What was that?
Play by Davis.
And to the bucket.
All right.
Davis with the steal and taking it.
There goes that lead we have.
For the left-handed layup. What a play by Corey Davis to read that pass, take it away, and turn it into 2.
Houston is built on defense. Corey Davis had the big first.
So they scored
for a while offensively.
a 7-2 run here. 6-0 run.
Side, reads the eyes of the passer, and then winds up taking that ball away. Not when he brought it down.
Gotta be strong with it, big fella.
Oh, for sure.
Nobody able to pick up the ball and stop it, and takes it all the way to the rim to lay it in with the left hand. That is a big-time winning play by Corey Davis Jr., who has been the player of the game for the Houston Cougars.
I went over to the corner. I should have won and whooped that front.
All right, out of the timeout. 2:29.
Meeting in Orlando, which was an easy win for the Cougars. He put up 26. He has 19 so far today, and those have been much harder to come by, as everything has been in this game.
Well, we mentioned in his last 3 games.
What are we running here?
This one, Corey Davis averaging 22 points, shooting 60% from the field.
Go. Oh, no, we ran hammer. That was hammer right there.
B.J. Taylor has just a single. Made 3 today. He penetrates, puts it up. Fall looking for it. Houston has the ball and a chance to take the lead.
Well, that was a forced shot by B.J. Taylor. Perhaps thinking he might get fouled, but not the look they wanted.
Davis feeds it around. Fall and the
That's a great pass.
What a player. And a gutsy play.
This big possession here. We know what's happening here, though.
Looked like he even went between the legs.
So he didn't see because Tacko was all in the way.
Here we go.
Inside 2 minutes.
Peep the screen, though. I want you to peep the screen before it happened. To set the screen.
How about this pass from Corey Davis again, Jay?
Well, he's been spectacular
All
in
right.
this game at both ends of the floor. But goes right underneath the outstretched arms of Tacko Fall. There's no rotation. And just a great catch and finish. Didn't go through the legs, but he did split.
This happens quickly, so we're setting up for the inbound.
Ball in between those 2 defenders and then chase after it. Got the ball to Gresham.
I heard the whistle.
Gresham finished
There you go.
and picked up his 4th foul on this end.
Bucket.
Huge.
Rattles in the 3.
Ooh.
Huge shot from Dawkins to put UCF back up by a single.
Boy, that same out-of-bounds underplay. We've seen Aubrey Dawkins come off that screen a couple times. Other times cut to the basket. And then you'd have Griffin come off that screen.
Yeah, layup.
But this time it was Griffin to the basket.
Well, that's a big play. Smith, nice job.
Trying to make him run around.
And just a great read and cut of how he's being defended by Armani Brooks. This big-time out-of-bounds play and execution by UCF. Well,
Yeah, Ryan.
Johnny Dawkins.
He ran over there screaming.
Aubrey with his first triple. Sports Center coming up midnight Eastern time tonight. Warriors continue on that road trip. Do they have some concerns? We're a couple of weeks
All right,
away
so after giving up the lead, we get the 3 back.
Seeds fared, the potential top seeds, and then post-fight reaction from Vegas. Sports Center midnight Eastern on ESPN and available on the app.
Now take a look at Johnny Dawkins. I played 4 years with this guy in college, and he never perspired. Now look at him now. He looks exactly the same as when the game started. Not a drop of perspiration.
All right, what do we got defensive here?
Kelvin does that early in the morning.
Yeah, they talking about Dawkins not sweating.
Jalen Robinson out to Corey Davis Jr. Gresham running out to set the ball screen. Davis finds Robinson.
He's living.
Wow, what a play. Didn't make it, but that's got to be a foul. Didn't make it, but that was a fantastic play by Corey Davis.
That's how you grab a board in a key moment right there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right, missed shot. Now we got to hit some buckets here.
Automatic.
You're still mad?
Yeah. Me and Aubrey always got this low-key beef going on, so I'll always be a little bit mad at him.
Competitive fire.
Just for different things, yeah. One time he got mad at me because I was wearing black socks and white shoes.
80% from the line. Look at his eyes. He looks locked in.
All right, he's going to make this.
We're locked in with
UCF exactly where they wanted to be on the road.
Now we get back on D. Play good D here.
Chance to beat a top 10 team on the road.
The highest ranked team they've ever beaten on the road, and Aubrey Dawkins has awakened. He scored the last 7 for
Will.
This is what I was saying about Real. He really picked up his defense. That was huge for us.
Yeah, no question.
Crossover in front of a good defender. He shows the ball here. That crossover, he went down catching his foot, but you can't show the ball and crossover like that in front of a good defender. I think he knows that, but it's been confirmed, and he's had an excellent game, but Terrell Allen is a really good defender. He's gotten a couple of steals and forced a couple of turnovers exactly through that play. The Drexel transfer.
This is big as we got points in this possession here. Made it a 2-possession game.
Tacko Fall has gone to the bench. Dayon Griffin.
Oh, this one I hit the 1 for 2 in the line.
They're inside a minute to go. Shot clock at 5. Collin Smith working on Gresham. Dawkins skies for the putback. Smith.
Put it back up.
The foul on Gresham.
There you go.
Aubrey Dawkins keeping that alive. Collin Smith made a nice move. Looked like there was contact not called. But Dawkins just soared in to get a hand on that ball and keep it alive.
Okay, that's going to be it for Bryson Gresham. Nate Hinton of Houston making his way to the scorers table now, at least.
That head fake.
Kelvin called him back for
every time.
It works, man.
I used to get Chad in practice all the time to go like that. Every time.
Well, Smith is going to get credit for that rebound because he came up with it. But you got to give credit to Aubrey Dawkins for keeping that alive. Those are the kind of plays.
Uh-oh. Is he going to make the second one to make it a 2-possession game?
Oh, I'm not talking about
UCF is not a good free throw shooting team. 64% in the year, 335th in the country. Smith makes.
Yes, he will.
Important that he got the second one because it's a 2-possession game.
I don't think they're going to go to Corey Davis Jr. here.
All right, so they call timeout.
And with Fall out of the game.
Colin, what was, I mean, defensively, no one out's a 4-point game. Like, likely, what are we trying to do here?
No threes. No quick basket. We want to force the tough people to the first shot.
Well, Collin Smith came into this.
Uh-oh, there's some highlights of Smith here today. Look at this.
Make plays, and he has been an outstanding complement to Tacko Fall and B.J. Taylor. And Houston in this ball game did not want Taylor, Dawkins, or Fall to beat them. Kelvin Sampson's game plan was make somebody else beat us. And that's somebody else
A lot
in
of
this
Collin
game
Smith
has been
highlights there,
Collin
huh?
Smith. He has stepped forward in a big way and had his best game of the season under the most difficult of circumstances against the best defensive team that UCF has played all season long.
14 of the 21 coming in the second half. He only took one shot in the midweek game against
We're up
South
4 with
Florida,
33
finished up
seconds
with
to
his
go
3
here.
points, but boy, has he been huge when they've needed him. Now, Kelvin Sampson, a lot of offensive sets and motions at his array. What do you expect him to use here?
I think he's got to put the ball into the hands of Armani Brooks or Corey Davis. I mean,
They
that's
say they went 33 straight at home, longest
His
streak
two
in the
best
country at
players,
the moment.
his 2 best scorers. And Davis has had a fantastic game and has done the lion's share of the scoring for this Houston team. But look, I'm letting
They're going to inbound and
Davis carry it here and let them make
going to play good defense here.
Dejan Giroux, Davis for 3.
Nope.
Quick 3.
He was hit, no call. He wanted one, and now they're going to
No.
foul.
Big miss. Now it's a matter of just hitting some free throws.
I'm not sure whether he got clipped on the foot, but that was one where the defense was trailing him. Doesn't have to have the 3 there.
Taco, when it mattered, we had some free throws late in games. I mean, we weren't the best free throw shooting team. At the end of the season, guys hit some shots so late in the game, right?
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
And oftentimes the referee can get fooled on that, but the officials weren't fooled on this one. See, that one he
That's good defense right there.
You know who used to do an amazing job of that, getting fouled all the time? This guy named Colin Falls, played at Notre Dame. Best I've ever seen in college at getting fouled on 3s.
5-point lead. Houston needs.
They're going to start launching some shots, and they're going to get free throws. Taco is the second swine down here. I think Colin's back there too, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, this was a huge win. We followed up with a big game against Cincinnati, and just the feeling and what was the locker room like?
I mean, it was just as you would expect it. Everybody was hyped. Everybody was happy, just jumping around. And I think this game was kind of us making a statement. And maybe I don't know about individually, but as a team, I think this showed us that we could really do it. Everything that we talked about all year, and that we were capable of doing it. So this game was a huge boost of confidence, I think, for the whole team, and it showed moving forward. After this game, we just took off.
Colin and Coach Dawkins get the water spray after this game?
I don't think so. I think he just
pretty wild
screaming. I think he was just screaming.
Yeah.
Now Dejan Griffin will go to the free throw line.
I mean, it was big, but like I said, I mean, we came back for that Cincinnati game. It was, I mean, equally as impressive to come back and do that and, getting ranked and everything. This was a big one.
Yeah. We had to get this one.
Oh, sure.
UCF, Cincinnati. Those are all tournament teams.
It's a Brock Stevenson shot right there. Brock in the picture.
No, they're in. They were in before, but I think they're in. And then, Temple has a great opportunity to get in as well. Fran Dunphy coaching the Owls. Shiz Alston averages about 19 points.
Dejan knocking down some free throws.
Best free throw shooter in the league at 90%.
Any you guys talked to Dan lately? Check in with him?
I talked to him last week, actually.
Yeah.
Who?
Dejan.
He was back in Orlando. I think he's in St. Pete right now.
Oh, Dejan.
Yeah.
He texted me. I think there was the night he was flying back to Orlando. He stopped to Boston, but he texted me at around like 2 a.m. I didn't see it until it was late, and when I texted him back, he had already left.
Galen Robinson Jr.
This is our 22nd win. Like I said, then we came home for that Cincinnati game and got ranked top 25 and all that stuff. But I mean, it's one of the biggest regular season road wins really in program history. And just like we said when we started this, game day and that sold-out crowd and everything, it was a big, big win. Woke up a lot of eyes in college basketball.
And a bid ceiling win. You talk about bid stealers.
Guys like Billis and others talking about, now we're in. But certainly that Cincinnati game kind of solidified it and made everybody feel a lot easier and stuff. But this was special. This was fun after the win and getting back and everything. Just the way we went about doing it.
Yeah.
Of course, they had us as a projected 11, played in that 8-9 game. Collin, obviously you played a great game. I mean, you look back and you have a chance to watch this. I mean, anything really stand out to you as you watch it again?
Could have took some better shots.
You played really well, man.
I feel like I settled out there a lot. I could have had a better game. Could have crashed the boards more.
Definitely could have crashed the boards more, but I wouldn't say that. You settled a few times, but not as many times. I think
you guys are both really good.
Yeah,
hey, man.
You had a pretty solid game. But definitely could have had more rebounds.
Yeah.
Hey, both you guys were great, man. Thanks for doing this. I know it took a little bit of your time. Stay safe, man. We'll be in touch. But Collin, Tacko, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Take care, guys.
Sorry, anytime.
There you go. Tacko Fall and Collin Smith. As we look back, we say tonight, fans, thanks for joining us as we react and rewatch this basketball game of UCF and Houston. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms, and we'll catch you next time with more coverage of UCF sports.